TWM Podcast.
Hello, I'm Matty Deller, and this is Best of the Rest, your Friday roundup of the odds and ends in your wrestling week. A part of TWM Podcast, bringing you all your wrestling goodness in audio form 6 days a week with news, reviews, and interviews. Bringing it on the Apple and Google podcast platforms, Spotify, Acast, TuneIn, Podbean, YouTube, you name it, we are up there. If you're in the market for a monthly box of wrestling swag, then there's no better place to go than squaredcirclebox.com. Get 10% off your first order by using the code TWMNews for your first order. That's 10% off at squaredcirclebox.com. Joining me as we deep dive into the sometimes good, sometimes intriguing shows of NXT and Impact, and then the always brilliant Total Divas, and we might have a little chat about backstage as well, seeing I watched it this week, is my friend and yours. He's knowledgeable, he's lovable, but he's very rarely affable. I don't know what that means. It's Joseph Kingsley.
I'm always affable.
I don't know what affable means. I couldn't think of any more able words.
Friendly.
Oh, you are friendly. You know what? You are lovable. You are affable, but you're never abominable.
Yeah, very rarely abominable.
Yes, I've never seen you in the mountains being some sort of mysterious creature. I don't know. It's Friday. It's always a weird one on a Friday. Anyway, Joe, how are you?
I've been better. My house is a tip, and I've still not packed yet.
Oh yeah, you're off on international business. He's becoming literally Mr. Worldwide in the space of about, I don't know, 72 hours.
LA.
Yeah. Can you just send us clips every time you're in a different airport? Just constantly making Pitbull references. It'll be glorious. But what a way to send you off, Joe, by talking about NXT UK. They're at Hull now in the north. First of all, Joe, you would have seen it. The crowd, it looked tiny, the arena they were in.
Yes.
Really small, like weirdly small for like even NXT, let alone like just very, very small arena. But the highlight wasn't even in the arena. It was not even at that taping. It was a pre-recorded segment with Jordan Devlin becoming the new brand rep for NXT UK.
Amazing.
This was brilliant. This was so funny. Just Jordan Devlin playing a video of him being his own biggest fan. Being like, here we go, another thing of me here, diving moonsault. I call that Air Jordan. See what I did there? Just, gold. And then my favourite bit is when they show the clip of the really cool bit of him doing the Devlin side where he pulls Mastiff off the top rope and does him into it. And him just going, look at that! Oh, that's brilliant! Someone 4 times my own size.
4 times my size, you know.
Oh, the best thing.
So he's actually 75 pounds. Yeah. If you look at the size of some of the NXT roster, Jack Stars could be 75 pounds.
I think he legitimately is 75 pounds. In all fairness, I would not be shocked if he was the same size as Riho from AEW. But yeah, I loved it. It was so good because it's NXT UK, like one of the first promotions outside of OTT that are showing one of Jordan Devlin's most underrated strengths, which is his personality. Because he can be like a real smarmy prick, but really funny with it, in the similar way of like an MJF, of like just being like, I know I'm good and I know I'm better than everyone else. And this was great. I want them to do this every week, of him just showing clips going, here's the best bits of NXT, and it's just bits of him going, oh look, there's me again.
Oh, would you look at that? That's me. Would have been the champion there if he hadn't turned over.
It was great. I loved it. So, like, it's definitely the one thing to just go back. If you're not going to watch NXT UK, clip that bit out on YouTube, on WWE YouTube. It's really, really funny. Big thing to note is that Ilya Dragunov dresses like a football firm top boy outside of the ring. So if we can pass that on.
That's why he fits in with Gallus.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's why he's rolling with Gallus, because he does look like he was proper. He was wearing, legitimately, when they did the interview, he was wearing like a big what? Not. It's not a trench coat. I'm trying to think of. It was like a woolly trench coat with a zip up tracky top underneath, like full on Vinnie Jones levels.
Oh my jeez.
Like I know that like Eastern Europe copied a lot of the 70s and 80s football hooligan culture, but I didn't realise it had spread towards Ilya Dragunov as well. My word, no wonder his finishes ahead. But Jesus Christ,
it's finished. Oh yeah, so it is actually.
Yeah. Wolf defeated Dragunov, and I don't care. Like, it was two people that I'm not bothered about. God bless these skip.
I'm a really big fan of Alexander Wolf, and I have been ever since he cut promo in NXT, and he was just Starscream. It was brilliant. He was Starscream.
It's one of those things. It's like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the massive, like, Ilya Dragunov. I'm warming to. Like, he's getting better when he's on NXT UK. I didn't like him before he was on NXT UK, but on NXT UK I'm actually enjoying him in bits. And the matches at Noir, blah blah blah, very very good. I'm warming to Ilya Dragunov. I'm not that arsed. Like, out of the four, Alexander Wolf is the least interesting one out of Imperium. Like, for me, in order, it is...
I disagree. Italian right at the bottom.
Oh, for me, Italian second. I love Fabian Eichner. He's fucking awesome. It's Marcel Bartel, because he's just got the greatest facial expressions in the game. Because his gimmick is stern German, and it's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Then it's Eichner, then it's Volta, then it's Alexander Wolf.
Well, like, this is the thing. Alexander Wolf's promo game, well, it's been in evidence with him soothingly trying to get Ilya to join them.
Yeah, it's just I just like, he's very good, because what I personally enjoy is that how much Alexander Wolf sounds like Christoph Waltz. It amuses me greatly. But yes. He really does. It's so funny. Just listen to any Christoph Waltz interview, like around the time of Inglourious Bastard. He sounds exactly like Alexander Wolf. But just the whole recruiting thing, I'm just not bothered about it. So literally, WWE's 10-second skip function, I was just sitting there going skip. Here's the finish. Brilliant. We also got the debut of Ridge Holland over Oliver Carr, and WWE. Boo! I agree. Part of me, this is like weird thoughts going through my head while watching NXT UK. When Oliver Carter came out and they're like, oh, from Ghana, West Africa, in my head I was like, I wonder if Kofi knows that there's another person from Ghana that works in the WWE now. I wonder if like Kofi does know that there's another like person of Ghanaian descent in the company. So I'm like, would they be aware? Because like they're literally other ends of the spectrum of each other. Jobber on NXT UK, former WWE champion, and for some reason that just generally crossed my mind.
Maybe
whether Kofi's like flicked through the network and gone, oh shit.
What?
I said, I'm imagining Kofi flicking through the network and going, oh shit, there's another guy from Ghana. It's amazing.
Oh man, he keeps losing.
Oh, god damn it. WWE can't do Sully because they literally called Ridge Holland a Peaky Blinder. How long until they get sued by the show? It's only a matter of time.
British Strong Style are livid right now.
Yeah, at least they did it with some fucking nuance. Done bait and 7. He's literally going, I am literally Peaky Blinders. Either way, he did the...
I am the TV show. I am not a character from the TV show. I am the TV.
I am DVD. I like Rich Holland's good. He has a lot of suplexes, which was nice. He did the Gangrel double arm trap suplex, so he gets the thumbs up from me. There was some Noam Dar. There was not enough of Noam Dar, but there was some Noam Dar. Who let the alleged murderer Kona Reeves into the UK?
By the sounds of things...
I'm waiting for you to say the two words that went into my head when you said by the sounds of things. By the sounds of things, Prince Andrew. At a Woking Pizza Express.
I don't think it's Prince Andrew, because Kona Reeves doesn't look like a Pizza Express kind of guy. He is Nando's all the way.
Okay, fair enough. Then maybe it's not him. I've heard Kona Reeves doesn't sweat either. Luckily, Trent Seven did okay. This was okay. I did enjoy it. However, post-match, Trent Seven is slapping down to the fans, and then one grabs him, and it's Eddie Dennis, who's grinning like a maniac at him. Trent versus Eddie as a feud. I'm okay with this going forward.
Do you know what the WWE NXT UK account are trying to get over as Eddie's Red Baron is nom de guerre?
It's not. Are they still trying to get over the the malevolent Welshman or something like that?
Oh, it's now he's just the principal.
Oh God. Genuinely, I'm so angry I could poo. Like, I could stop the podcast now and go take a rage dump. Jesus Christ. Like, school gimmicks don't get over. Dean Douglas, Matt Striker, Michelle McCall for a few weeks. Like, good Lord. Jeez, the principal. Fucking
going to send you to the principal's office.
But the thing is,
be you now, Britt Baker, Eddie Dennis, on a crash course. Just pick anyone from 205 Live, and you've got the three main professions of the public sector.
But the thing is, though, with Eddie Dennis, it's like they've picked the one guy that's older than Eddie, so it's weird that Atisha's talking to him. It's like, oh, good God. A-Kid over Jack Stars. This was okay. It was an okay match. I do love Nigel and Tom Phillips trying to put over Stars as one for the future, even though he's done less than dick all, other than to get chopped to fuck by Volta.
Do you want a match yet?
Probably. I can't remember. I think he won a dark match. He's still got a better win-loss record than Killer Kelly, who's not won a match on the show.
Very true.
Ginny cuts a really great promo on Piper Niven, and does throw a bit of shade, because she says, well, you remember, Piper Niven never defeated me, and obviously because Piper Niven pinned Jazzy Gabbert, which was nice. We get our weekly Zach Gibson complaining promo, but my biggest concern was the state of James Drake's clothes.
What was up with them?
Mainly the trousers.
Okay, talk me through it.
They were like, I know that it is in the fashions to have kind of the socks and those shoes, which is a big bugbear of mine anyway to begin with, because it's just wrong. And then the short trouser. But he had like, there's short trouser and there's jack-ups, and Fam had jack-ups. It was not on.
I just need to know.
I didn't like the blazer either.
People are not wearing no socks with their shoes. They are wearing socks that cut off at the ankles.
No, he was wearing.
See that
he was wearing quite low shoes, so I don't think he's even wearing. I don't think he was wearing socks. It was offensive to several senses. The blazer, like the suit jacket he had on as well, was fucking horrific. I hated that.
To be fair, like, James Drake is not, like, the day that James Drake dresses well is the day that Hull freezes over.
And he's getting close. He begs the Grizzled Young Vets to get another title shot to take over Blackpool Dose. Then we find out some bits about the whole Joseph Connors thing, because Travis Banks has a really bland promo where he thinks Kaiser John has robbed him of a victory, and Ligero then does a really bland promo where he says he robbed the fans of a fair fight, and then Joseph Connors cuts a really bland promo that he's glad he made a good impression. I don't care. You've got two really charismatic wrestlers and Joseph Connors. Just move Joseph Connors out of the way. Let Travis Banks be entertaining. Let Ligero be entertaining. Don't lumber them down with a man that literally should permanently have the suffix "and" at the front, the prefix "and" on his name.
Like, this is one of my big issues with Travis Banks, and considering the state of things right now, this is really dangerous for me to voice. I don't think he is good as a clean-cut, straight-up, white meat, blue-eyed babyface. Yeah.
I don't think it worked. I feel like he would really find his feet as a heel, but I feel like they've got the...
No, straight, like I said, he needs something. He needs He's a character worker.
Yeah, he needs something to work with. You can't just be Travis Banks cannot just be Travis Banks.
Okay. Travis Banks, is Chief Deputy Travis Banks. All right.
Yeah.
Stupid sexy Travis Banks. Brilliant. Love it. Here's shake my hands, Travis Banks. I can work with that.
Yeah.
Oh, Travis Banks. Whoa.
his champ Travis Banks. I'm okay with this. Like, when he's just Travis Banks and they're not letting him be the proper Travis Banks, it annoys me. Same with Ligero. They're not giving Ligero enough, and it's a shame.
My thing with Ligero is they should have just leaned in into the, like, they could have had they could have redone Generica. They could have had a British Generica.
Yeah, they could.
Fully.
And then in the end, they'd went to say he's from Leeds, and he's like, "Hello, I'm Ligero," which ruined a fair bit of the mystique. And it's a big shame. But there's some bad, there's some good. That's NXT in a nutshell, really. This podcast, and indeed all TWM podcasts, are brought to you by SquaredCircleBox.com, the only place for your monthly wrestling box needs. With things from superstars from WWE, AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, British Wrestling, Independent Wrestling, and loads more, it is the only place that matters if you want to get the best wrestling swag for a low, low price. That low, low price is just £25, people. What a bargain! And you can get snapbacks, t-shirts, magazines, DVDs, trinkets, doodads, you name it, they have it each and every month. And just because you listen to TWM, you sexy people, you get 10% off your first order. All you got to do is use the code TWM News in the checkout. Just use the code TWM News in the checkout for 10% off your first order at SquaredCircleBox.com. After a fair few forks in the road and some bumps, we finally get our route to Tessa Blanchard becoming Impact Champion as she earns, in quotes, her shot in a 6-person elimination match, which we all knew where it was going because they already announced the main event, defeating Brian Cage, Willie Mack, Moose, Darga, and Rich Swann. In spite of the fact that we kind of all knew the result because they'd already pretty much, well, not already pretty much, they had leaked it. It was a very long match, but it was a gauntlet match, so it was going to be very, very long. But this was still decent. It was still a good main event.
Yeah. I mean, you can't really deny the talent that they had on show. They had 5, 6? Was it 6 or 7 people?
6. It was a 6-way.
So 5 of some of the greatest talents in the world, and somebody who I won't even name because he doesn't deserve to be named.
They did. This was quite good. We'll go through each bit of the match. So you had like Moose over Darga, which was pretty good if unremarkable.
I love Darga's great. Darga won me over Maybank holiday weekend.
Darga's another guy that wears shoes without socks, so I'm still unsure on the name.
I got time for that, brother, man.
This was good. It was good. I'm a big fan of it. I really like Moose. Moose is really good. And when
Moose is also like Moose's Mr. Perfect vignettes give me life.
And when he's got the right opponent, he can have very good matches. Case in point, him against Rich Swann in this gauntlet was brilliant. It was really, really good.
Fantastic.
I would like to see these guys face off. The great little sequence of all the cutters and Moose taking the pile driver bump on the car was a lovely little spot. I don't want to do the Black Wrestler A would put in the same spot as Black Wrestler B thing here, but they did kind of make Rich Swann the Kofi of this gauntlet, where he was
so did.
Yeah.
And I was like, can bookers please have an original idea? I beg you.
Because it could have been very similar to Seth, but this wasn't a worker thing. This was Rich Swann getting beaten down. Then he had the Rich Swann over Michael Elgin via DQ, and this was pretty good, but this was based more on Swann being injured internally, and then Elgin taking things too far, which has been his gimmick. He pushed down the ref for the DQ, and then he hit Swann with an Elgin bomb, and then we get the spot, which I think was Kofi and AJ. Was it Kofi and AJ in the gauntlet where Kofi's injured and then someone comes in and doesn't want to fight him?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. And he doesn't want to fight, and Swan slaps him, and they fight, and they hit some good moves. The F5 counted into a cutter was a really nice little spot. I enjoyed that. And then I could call it. I was waiting for him to go to top rope. I was like, he's going to do a move. He's going to eat it off the top rope, and then that's how Brian Cage wins. And it did happen. He went for the Phoenix Splash, missed, gets hit with Weapon X from Brian Cage. And then Tessa comes out, which is the best thing about this is 5 of the biggest people in Impact. Tessa Blanchard by far is the most over person in this match.
Fantastic news.
Which is great.
Isn't it? It's just great.
Yeah, it's tremendous, and it's earned. It's not the key thing about this whole Tessa thing is this isn't someone being shoved down your throat. Tessa's naturally built up. Like, she started off as a heel, became in Knockouts champion, built up, had the career making match with Gail Kim, turned face, ended up like getting stuck in the middle of that feud between Scarlett Bordeaux and Sami Callihan. Scarlett left, Tessa took the spot, and Tessa ended up becoming the biggest star in the company. And it's great to see. Like, this, her and Cage was a great, believable intergender match because it was Cage using his power and Blanchard using momentum and shifting her weight to counteract the power. So it wasn't as if Blanchard was like dropping Cage with power bombs and picking Cage up. Cage was yeeting her about, but Blanchard was doing like satellite DDTs and using the ropes and coming off the ropes and countering the Blue Thunderbolt off the top rope into a Rana and then hitting the Magnum and it was all well done. The only little issue is the end. So when they do the Weapon X into the Sunset Flip, I would have liked to have seen. It's because it's going to be hard to fold Cage up because he's a meat castle of a man. So it would have been better if Blanchard could have like somehow shifted her legs out and like put all of her body weight on top of Brian Cage to make it, because it was literally just he had her up. But then again, you could say Cage is so big, if he's on his shoulders, he's almost like an upended turtle. So
yeah, I mean, how often is Brian Cage in that position? Really? I guess that's a question to ask someone else. But let's move on. And get cancelled.
And his porn star-esque penis, according to Twitter 2 years ago. Never look up that stuff. It's weird. Not his penis. I mean, people talking about his penis. But anyway, we get the Rascals over the Dinas, Reno Scum, and Desi Hit Squad in a fun little opener.
Yeah, I very much enjoyed it. Do you want a confession?
Yes.
I've seen the Rascals before this.
I'm pretty. Well, no, they would have been on. Oh, you wasn't on last week, so you wouldn't have seen them then. Try to think if you would have seen them previously. Yeah, I guess you wouldn't have actually seen the Rascals proper before.
I've never seen the Rascals live, films, ever. Never seen the Rascals. So you heard a lot of good things about them.
So you got to see their finisher.
Yeah, I got to see their. Well, I've seen their finisher.
Yeah,
because GIFs exist.
Yeah,
I've never seen the Rascals. I've never seen the Rascals. Never seen a full match from Rascals.
Yeah, like they're all very, very, very good. We did get. Then we had the Reno Scum attack Rascals post match. Trey made the save, but then Ace hit him with the belt and the loaded back fist. And what I wrote down was this won't like he beats up Trey in front of Trey's mum, and I wrote this won't make fucking his mum any easier.
It won't. However, let's move on.
The Rascals are in the treehouse, and they talk about wrecking Reno Scum and Ace Austin, and then Trey's mum turns up and has no concept of what wrestling is. He's like, oh, so this is what you do? And this was genuinely, this whole bit was something, like, I know they joke that this is basically the thing from that 70s show. This was as if it was written by someone from that 70s show.
Literally, do you remember Eric's mum? Because that's exactly what she did.
I can't. I vaguely remember that 70s show. I can't remember Eric's mum, but this is if it's pretty much the same thing. And I did love that that you had Des try and walk out with a boner, just the stupidest joke. It's so funny. I love all these Rascals bits. They're so like it shows again, like we said with Jordan Devlin over at NXT. They're letting the Rascals not only wrestle, show their wrestlers, they're letting them show how funny they are, and they're really fucking funny. Like,
yeah. Well, the first thing I saw of the Rascals was them referring to, like I said, one of the greatest quotes said by a great mind ever. So I thought they were hilarious from that first moment.
Still, the funniest thing that I've ever seen the Rascals do was at Fight Club Pro, where they did a 6-man tag. Dez ran into the ring, hit someone from behind, ran back out again, and when the ref asked him, he went, no, it was Wentz. just politely just going, no, it wasn't me. I'm like, there's a big reason why it wasn't you. It's just killed me. So funny. Just being brazen about it. The Gamma Singh calls the Desi Hit Squad losers, because they are. So they beat up Falabar. And this shows how dumb they are, because they beat him up and they loaded Falabar onto like a loading case. And they had two options. They could have rammed him head first into the wall or ass first into the wall. They picked ass first. Just, I hate the Desi Hit Squad.
On next week's Impact, are we?
Yeah, it's going to be Bar, and it's going to be the Filipino boys against Desi Hit Squad, one would imagine. RVD continues to cut the best promos of his career. And it's another one.
Mad to think about.
I know. It's the bit that killed me was he goes, "I no showed this week because we were partying last night, and I deserve the 11 to 12 hours sleep a day that normal people get."
No, and he said, and the flight was at 11. Who gets up at that time? The world didn't want us to make the taping.
Yeah, it was so funny. You had Susie then meet James Mitchell, and he tried to manipulate her and get her into his Corvette, which was creepy.
I had no idea what was going on. Break this down for me.
Oh, so you would have seen. So basically, a few weeks ago,
I know. A few weeks ago, Jessica Havoc choked out Su Yung. Su Yung came back as Poppy. Poppy has been roaming around backstage. So now...
James Mitchell used to be the man... to take it to the Woking Pizza Express, yes.
So, like, who is that guy?
That's James Mitchell, and he's been...
Rosemary?
Well, he's been the manager of Su Yung and Havoc because he is Satan. He's basically Satan in this. I mean, he's in charge of the Undead Realm, where Su Yung and Havoc and Rosemary are all from. And Rosemary's trying to stop it because her boss, or her father, whoever this is, mysterious man, and his boss won't want them messing around with his undead bride. We don't know who he is, so we're still building up to that. This is really, really cool. Regardless,
please let it be me and Mark Calloway.
I'm hoping it's a returning Abyss. Taya Valkyrie pieced out of a 2-on-1 match, so Johnny Bravo just died at the hands of Jordan Grace.
I didn't realise that Johnny Bravo was spelt that way. That's a very clever way to avoid copyright.
It is very well done. Johnny Swinger went over Buck Gunderson in a squash match, and then Ken Shamrock killed Johnny Swinger for shitting in his bag last week. And then I got really pissed because they buried the turkey suit match from Impact's gone by. I was offended. However, do you know what show's next week, right?
Is it Southpaw Regional Wrestling?
It is the non-union Mexican equivalent. My favourite thing about it is they had a cutaway to the 80s commentary thing. The best thing about it is Don's commentary name is like, I didn't catch Josh's one. He goes, with me is my colour commentator here, Sexton Hardcastle. Fucking killed me. This show looks it's not going to be as well shot as Southpaw, but it looks more realistic than Southpaw. So
Southpaw had that KFC money, baby.
Yeah, so I can't wait to watch this next week.
Crispy. Woo, crunchy. Woo, delicious.
What chicken joint's going to sponsor this one? I'm hoping is it going to be Sam's? Morley, South London's finest.
Why not spread? I said, why not spread the gospel of the TWM squad with some of our lovely merch over at Teespring? We have t-shirts for all shapes and sizes, hoodies, sweatshirts, mugs, stickers, and loads more. Also, just for listening to this podcast, you can get 10% off your order. I said using the code podcast. That's podcast. Once again, podcast in the checkout for 10% off at teespring.com/stores/TWM-wrestling-merch. That's right. Praise. Testify.
Total Divas, and spoiler alert, I'm very happy because this wasn't the last episode. For some reason I was fearful we were at Mania and this was going to be like the half-season finale, but there's more.
It's interesting that you're fearful because this episode was more fearless than any other.
It was. We go full Brie mode. We get a recap of all the Total Diva shenanigans, and it's WrestleMania 35, and yes, they bring up the Bret Hart thing. Natty is basically the narrator for this entire episode. She gives us the exposition for Mania itself, and the majority of divas talk about being excited for the Battle Royal. And then we have Ronda Rousey doing a Make-A-Wish, and Rousey is hyped for, not only for Mania, but also to get it over and done with so she can go home and boff her husband.
Impregnation vacation.
Hashtag impregnation vacation. We have a Bella sighting. They are at Mania 2, and they immediately go from 0 to 100 real quick as they discuss camel toe, vaginal dryness, and their WrestleMania schedules.
Oh my goodness.
Jesus Christ, they have no... They're so used to having cameras there, they have no filter at this point. Like, I can't wait, because obviously a big thing to talk about, guys of like other media WWE, we've got... I think the Bellas podcast starts really soon. I don't think it started yet. I can't remember. They were talking about their studio. I don't know if it started or they're moving studios. I need to listen to the Bellas podcast. But also have the New Day podcast coming out, I think in December as well. I cannot wait for the idea. Basically, it's going to be Edge and Christian's podcast, but I think 5 times more inappropriate because Big E's going to be on it.
Speaking of inappropriate, can we pause for a second?
Yeah.
Because I do have a special guest.
Yes.
Yes, we do. I do have a special guest. I'm waiting for said special guest to make his special entrance.
Oh God! I swear, if I think who I think it is.
Do you think it is, Matthew?
If I hear "hello" really loudly in the next 30 seconds. Who is...
We're doing a podcast. What did you say?
Hello? Oh, God damn it. Oh, look, it's a person that's punched out of doing anything for the last 2 weeks because he's had to renovate his house, a.k.a. count all the money from his South American drug cartel. It's Dan Lloyd.
I'm actually on this podcast.
Yeah, you are.
We're live, pal.
We'll do it live.
We're talking about Total Divas. Are you getting involved, Dan?
I have not watched Total Divas since about 2012.
Well, you can catch up now. Here we go. Nia calls and talks to the Bellas about making up with Carmella, and they talk about wrestling again, and Nikki being pregnant, even though she's drinking wine, which was weird. They talk about winning the tag titles. Narrator, this won't happen. Natty is with all her family, and again, she gives all the exposition going about the Hall of Fame and Jim Neidhart going in. They worry about going too long in their speeches. Joe, in hindsight, that was the least of their worries. Nia Jax is trying on dresses and wonders if this is going to be the last match of her career.
Spoiler alert, we still don't know.
Yes, narrator, we're still not sure. A lot of this is just exposition leading up to Mania. This is a very filler episode, but there's still good bits.
Because, well, we know what happened at Mania. Is the interesting thing about this episode is getting the insight of the people, of the performers at Mania.
Yeah.
And how much it meant to them. While we were sitting here, possibly, we may or may not have been talking about what not a great time we were having. They were having the times of their life, and it was an interesting insight into that.
Well, we were having a time of our life up until Triple H, but we're having a time of our life up until Triple H Batista.
Because of the show.
Sonya Deville is excited for a custom suit, which looked boss as fuck, but she's struggling wearing heels.
It is.
The Bellas talk about the Hall of Fame, and Nikki isn't going. However, Nikki has also called WWE and is asking for a run at the tag titles. However, Brie wants another baby with Nikki. They flip each other off, and then Brie makes an unnecessary dig at Nikki for not getting married. Just like this must be why everyone loved this show to begin with, because the Bellas just don't give a fuck. Hall of Fame. Natty tries on Jim's Hall of Fame ring, and she is excited. Sonya Deville is struggling with heels, and Hulk Hogan has arrived.
Nah, I'm leaving. I'm coming the
Part of me generally thought you'd watch this and you just go, and this is the time I turn off Total Divas. Goodbye.
You know what? I'm tapping out of this podcast. Dan, you're up.
Speaking of Hulk Hogan, here's Dan. Carmella and Nia are all chummy and life is good, and we see Carmella's sister.
Do we?
We do. We get a shot of Carmella's sister, and yeah, I don't know. I don't want to sound creepy, but Carmella's sister is very pretty. so that's all I'm going to say.
Corey Graves experienced the twin magic.
There, and Dan's made it creepy. Well done, Dan. Good job. 10 on 10.
I was more obsessed with how Ghanaian Kofi Kingston's brother looks. He looks so Ghanaian.
I love Kofi's son being like, is your dad going to be my husband? He just goes, yes. It's like, well, someone's read the booking sheet, haven't they?
Well, I'm sorry, but like, do you not remember how much of a boss that kid is?
Oh, he's a hero. I want him versus Dominic Mysterio next WrestleMania. Book it, you cowards.
How dare you put a child up against Volta?
We had to say, how dare you put a child up against Kofi's kid? How dare you? Natty gives Sonya a rainbow cufflink and a pocket square, which is lovely. We get some more stuff about her being a LGBT ambassador. Natty's freaking out about time. Meanwhile, Bret Hart is just flat out refusing to cut out any stories from his speech, which is just the best thing. He's just like, why don't you cut that one out? That's not important. He just goes, no.
Bret Hart being Bret Hart.
Yeah. And then all I wrote down was, don't worry, your speech won't go that long at all.
Yikes.
Did you clock this as well, Joe, which made me pop? They showed Bret and Natty doing the speech for the Hall of Fame, and they used slow fades to make it seem like Bret's gone on for days.
Yeah.
Which was great. And then we get the Bret incident. They don't show any of the footage, which I guess makes sense. But then we get a lovely wrap-up of the Neidhart induction. And then we get a nice... Basically, this is... they wrap up the whole story arc of Natty struggling with grief in this season. And this was kind of the feel-good ending-ish, in a way, which was nice. WrestleMania timingtons. They're at WrestleMania. Nia Jax is driving a golf cart and somehow gets pulled over.
Is she Kane?
No, it's in the blood.
I was gonna say somehow it just runs in the family. It looks like
Jimmy Uso is nodding in approval down from heaven.
Just all you hear is just the guy goes, I'm being pulled over, and we hear in the background is just oos. Mela, Sonya, and Nia are all looking at the stage, and Nia talks about going out of a bang, and they all talk about making it. And it was a really nice little thing of them all being like, "Wow, we're here, we've made it to Mania," and it was really, really cool. Natty talks to Ronda about the whole Bret situation, and Ronda G's her up, and then Natty needs to get ahead in the game. Get ahead in the game. Wildcats! The Bellas arrive at Mania, and we get a Prego JoJo sighting.
Ooh, do we?
Yeah, the Bellas come over and they
I'm sorry, I watched Total Divas while I was clearing out my room.
Yeah, you get a pregnant JoJo sighting. Sonya Deville and a makeup artist get all emotional in a very blurry area because clearly there's loads of where were they? Was it MetLife? Was last year MetLife or was it somewhere else?
Was the MetLife last year?
Yeah, so they had loads of Patriot stuff on the wall, so they had to blur everything out in the background, apart from Sonya Deville and this makeup artist talking. And it looked like there was some sort of weird dream sequence. It was really odd. I believe this man is a gay man, and he's talking about WWE being a family and Sonya Deville being an LGBTQ spokesperson. And this is all very, very good PR for them. Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, there's not really much else to say.
Yeah.
Something about a pilot?
Something. Mela gets a kiss from Corey Graves in front of everyone. Oh, bless. Sonya Deville talks about the 30-woman battle royal, open up Mania, and we get to see the Ovaries Cup. And they literally...
I honestly thought I wouldn't see it until next Mania, and then you said we're covering Total Divas.
They literally edit this like it's like the main event. Like it's a really important match, but most people are like, oh, the Battle Royal's on. No, Naomi's just happy to be there, which is something she should be annoyed that she's not more important because she's underrated as fuck. We get to hear Percy Watson, though. That was nice.
Yeah. I wonder what he's doing now.
I think he's doing Hollywood stuff, isn't he?
Like, why is he more visible than Byron? Hashtag Where's Byron?
Hashtag Where's Byron? We get highlights of the Battle Royal, and then Mela talks about this meaning a lot to her. And then I generally think one of my favourite lines, they cut the thing where Mela comes into them and sneaks back into the ring, and she just cuts to her in the Convention King. Hi, bitch, Carmella's here. And I'm like, I fucking love Carmella. She's just... I think we said this from like the episode 1. We're like, the key thing of why Carmella's so nice and why we got so annoyed at Nia from the beginning is there's nothing fake about Carmella. She just seems like the most genuinely nice human being. And as I said, we must protect her and Sonya Deville at all costs. I legit forgot she won the Battle Royal.
Hey, honestly, I was like, did Naomi go 2 for 2? I don't think she did.
No.
Oh,
Yeah, don't win that Battle Royal. You'll never be seen again, pretty much. She's loving life after the year she's had. And then everyone's just... I like to see these bits of everyone just hanging out backstage at Mania. It was really, really fun. Just seeing everyone just like chill and watch the show backstage. And then Brie is stuck in between being a mum and returning back to wrestling. Nia Jax is nervous about wrestling and her last match ever, etc., etc. And everyone is worried about Nia Jax and her knees. Natty gets emotional about this match and all the stuff that she's gone through. And we get the match highlights and everyone's battering Nia. And because Carmella is a wonderful human being, she's worried for Nia Jax's well-being, even though Nia was a cunt for her for majority of the year.
To be fair, full circle, it kind of proves Nia's point from the first episode.
What, that she's not real?
Oh, that, like, the stuff about her wrestling ability.
Oh, okay. We get the dramatic build to Nia doing the splash, and then Nia gets annoyed that Beth pushes her up the top rope like it's not scripted. She's like, I up there, and then Beth pushed me off. Oh no, I'm like, is this show meant to be in kayfabe or not? I don't know anymore.
Well, like, Total Divas is the best book show ever.
I know, but it's like scripted reality on a show that's scripted reality, so...
It's scripted realityception.
That's what Dan should be. Dan should have done that for us instead of sitting there, not pulling his weight. Just gonna throw shots at him. We get to the main event.
I guess you're kind of doing it to his face, Alex Riley.
He's gonna bury me. I'm never gonna be. I have to turn up on NXT as Rage, Matty Deller.
I'll literally bury you.
That's just sinister. We see Joan Jett playing her out, and Rousey talks about marking out about this, and all the women backstage celebrate the main event. It's a lovely moment.
And then it all goes to shit.
Yeah, they talk about the rise of women's wrestling and how this is important, and then we get a recap of the triple main event. We see the moment where Rousey eats shit, and then the moment we find out the exact moment where Rousey breaks her hands, and it was on punching Becky Lynch's ribs.
Because Becky Lynch is the man.
Yeah, and next week, it's the thing we always like on Total Divas. They're going on vacation, so there's going to be drama. This time in Hawaii.
Oh, Sonya, what have you done?
Oh, dear. Right, there we go. That is Best of the Rest for this week. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all at TWM Wrestle. Twitch.tv/TWM Wrestle. Tomorrow, I keep saying 9 p.m. going, or maybe not. I'm going to say this again. I'm going to go see Frozen 2 tomorrow, so I'm hoping I'll be back in time for 9. It'll be 9-ish on twitch.tv/TWM Wrestle. We're going to do predictions for TakeOver and for Survivor Series. It's going to be like nice little chilled like Twitch stream. We're going to chat about Survivor Series, chat about TakeOver. So join us if you can. We go there, twitch.tv/TWM Wrestle. Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Acast, TuneIn, Podbean, YouTube, all that good stuff. Check out everything on twm.news. There is going to be predictions up for War Games, which is up already, courtesy of Shadeen. You got Rob is doing the predictions for Survivor Series, will be out tomorrow, and there's going to be loads of fun stuff going up. And also also keep an eye on social media over December, because we are doing an insane giveaway in December as a thank you for this being our biggest year ever. So make sure you keep an eye on that at TWM Wrestle. Dan, do you want to give your social media before me and Joe say goodbye?
Oh, my social media is at Joe Kingley.
Oh, okay, cool. Joe, your social media?
I'm not sure, because like my life is just quite a bit of a mess right now, and there's a lot of stuff in my house that I'm not 100% sure where it is. So I'm gonna give my Twitter handle today as at Bret Hart.
Be careful, you might get tackled. I'm at Matty ID. This has been Best of the Rest. Yeah. Make sure you check out Smack Talk tomorrow, covering Friday Night SmackDown. And then obviously TWM Talks on Monday, where we'll be covering TakeOver and Survivor Series. So we'll be back I'll be back next Friday. Joe's off to foreign lands to do fun things with fun people.
I just don't know what I could possibly take. Like, it's just such a mess around here. It might be... What something could sneak into my luggage, and I might even end up leaving it behind.
We're going to talk off pod about this, because you better not fucking lose that belt. We'll speak to you guys next week.